Among the Maasai people, there's a tradition that would absolutely blow the mind of any modern person. On their wedding night, the bride goes to sleep with her husband's best friend, and the husband actually thanks his buddy for the honor. What looks like the ultimate betrayal to us is actually a sacred custom that's been passed down through generations for thousands of years. But that's just the beginning. Are you ready to learn about a people where men become blood brothers for life? Where refusing to share your wife with a friend would shame you in front of the entire tribe? Where families raise children together and nobody bats an eye? Today, I'm going to tell you about some of the most mind-blowing family traditions on the planet, about rituals that'll make you completely rethink everything you thought you knew about love, marriage, and loyalty, about how sacred ceremonies turn young men into lifelong brothers, and women become living bridges connecting male souls. You're in for some serious revelations about a tribe where cattle are worth more than a wife, where emotions are seen as enemies of society, and romantic love is considered a dangerous disease that needs to be overcome. You'll discover why researchers are still scratching their heads over Maasai customs, and how modern civilization is slowly changing traditions that are older than the pyramids. But here's the real kicker: what you'll learn at the end. When you realize that maybe we so-called civilized folks have actually lost something important in our chase for individual happiness, something the Maasai have been protecting in the red dust of Africa for thousands of years. Fair warning, after this video, your ideas about human relationships will never be the same again. Ready to peek into a world where friendship is more sacred than marriage and sharing your wife is the ultimate sign of trust? Let's dive into the most incredible anthropological mystery of East Africa. The red earth of East Africa trembles under the hooves of cattle. Somewhere between Kenya and Tanzania, among the acacia trees and baobabs, unfolds a story that can completely flip our understanding of marriage, loyalty, and friendship. Here, in the world of the Maasai, a young bride might leave her husband's bed for his best friend, and that's totally normal. That's tradition. To the Western mind, this seems absolutely nuts. How can you share your wife with a friend? Where's the honor? Where's the jealousy? Where's that possessiveness we so often mistake for love? But the Maasai live by different rules. Rules where friendship between men is more sacred than marriage bonds, where personal connections matter more than social constructs, where hospitality is taken to the absolute extreme. The brotherhood that runs deeper than blood. At the heart of this tradition lies a concept the Maasai call Ololoi Lokap, age mates. These are men who went through initiation at the same time, became warriors on the same day, shared the blood, pain, and joy of coming-of-age ceremonies. Their bond is stronger than family ties, because family is given at birth, but brotherhood is forged through trials. When a group of young men goes through the ritual of transitioning to adulthood and becomes warrior Morans, they develop a connection that lasts their entire lives. They share everything: food, dangers, secrets, and yes, women. This isn't promiscuity or lack of morals. This is the ultimate form of trust. If my age-mate brother is worthy of my blood spilled in battle, isn't he also worthy of the warmth of my bed? The Maasai have a saying: a guest is a deity descended from heaven. And when an age-mate brother comes to his friend's house, he truly becomes a deity. He's offered the best food, the most comfortable place to sleep, and the company of the host's wife. This isn't coercion. This is an offer that would be rude to refuse, because refusing means distrust. A different kind of marriage contract. A Maasai woman knows about this tradition from birth. She's not surprised or offended. For her, it's part of the cultural code, as natural as milking cows in the morning or singing around the fire at night. She accepts the guest not because she's forced to, but because that's how her world works. A world where personal desires bow to collective values, where individuality dissolves into communal harmony. In Maasai society, a woman, despite all the respect shown to her, isn't the center of a man's universe. The center is cattle, cows, goats, sheep. They provide milk, meat, blood, the foundation of their diet. They determine status, wealth, the ability to marry. Cattle is life. A wife in this system is important, but not the main prize. She bears children, runs the household, keeps the home fires burning. But she's not property in the sense we understand it. Her body doesn't belong exclusively to her husband. It belongs to the community, the age group, the tradition. And when she shares a bed with her husband's friend, she's not cheating, she's fulfilling her duty to the collective. Love without ownership. The Maasai don't know romantic love in the European sense. Their marriages are family alliances, economic arrangements, social contracts. A man marries to get a helper and mother for his offspring. A woman marries to gain status and protection. Passionate attachment, jealousy, possessiveness, these are emotions that can destroy communal harmony, so they're suppressed from early childhood. A husband doesn't get upset when his wife spends time with an age-mate brother because he doesn't see her as his emotional property. He sees her as a function, a role, part of the family machine. And the machine should work for everyone's benefit, not just his personally. Diplomacy through intimacy. The tradition of wife-sharing among the Maasai isn't just hospitality, it's diplomacy. When a man offers his wife to a friend, he's showing complete trust, absence of hidden conflicts, readiness for a deep alliance. It's a gesture that seals relationships tighter than any contract. Refusing such an offer could be seen as an insult, a sign of distrust or contempt. It could destroy a friendship, create tension within the age group, upset social balance. That's why age-mate brothers rarely refuse the offered gift, even if they personally don't feel attracted to the woman. The woman as social glue. In Maasai culture, women play the role of connective tissue between men. Through her pass invisible threads of friendship, alliance, mutual understanding. When she welcomes her husband's friend into her bed, she's not just satisfying his needs. She's strengthening the male bond, confirming brotherhood, creating emotional closeness between warriors. It's paradoxical, but in a society where women formally hold subordinate positions, they become the center of male solidarity. Through her interactions flow the energy of friendship. Through her acceptance or rejection is determined the guest's status. Through her willingness to be intimate is measured the depth of trust between men. Children belong to love, not genes. In Maasai families, it's not uncommon for children from different biological fathers to grow up together, but this doesn't create problems. The father is considered to be the mother's husband, regardless of who conceived the child. Genetic kinship isn't as important as social kinship. What matters is who raises the kids, who passes cattle to them, who teaches them traditions and customs. This system frees relationships from biological determinism that's so strong in Western culture. Children belong not to genetic material, but to the family. Not to genes, but to upbringing. Not to blood, but to the love of whoever takes responsibility for their future. When ancient ways meet modern times. Today, the tradition of wife-sharing among the Maasai is gradually becoming a thing of the past. Christianity, modern education, the influence of global culture, all of this is eroding ancient foundations. Young Maasai increasingly refuse to follow their ancestors' customs, choosing monogamous marriages Western style. Urbanization is destroying age groups. Men move to cities for work, lose connection with the land and cattle, adopt foreign values. Romantic love penetrates their hearts, bringing with it jealousy, possessiveness, individualism. What was considered virtue for centuries, willingness to share a wife with a friend, begins to be perceived as humiliation. Lessons from the red dust. The Maasai tradition might surprise us, but it carries a deep lesson about the nature of human relationships. It shows that marriage isn't a natural constant, but a social construct. That fidelity isn't a biological imperative, but a cultural choice. That love can exist in different forms, not all of which fit into familiar frameworks. In a world where divorces multiply, where people suffer from loneliness even in marriage, where jealousy destroys families, the Maasai experience offers an alternative model. A model where relationships are built not on ownership, but on trust. Not on exclusivity, but on generosity. Not on fear of losing, but on willingness to share. Our culture, our history, our values are too different to simply adopt their ways. But in the red dust of East Africa, under the endless sky of the savannah, the Maasai continue to live by laws that seem strange to us. But maybe in this strangeness lies wisdom we've lost in our pursuit of individual happiness. Wisdom that true intimacy sometimes requires willingness to let go, that real love knows no boundaries of ownership, and that friendship can be stronger than passion.